It's just a way to prevent like the small guy from buying into crypto and making money on crypto. And you're like, what the heck? So everybody's a slave to a banker. It was quite shocking revelation. So I often speak negatively about crypto regulations because crypto regulations are just regulations so that the elite will be able to buy crypto and not the average person. It's just a way to prevent like the small guy from buying into crypto and making money on crypto. They want to close it off, right, and slow down Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but they can't stop it. They can only slow it down. And that's what regulation is all about, just slowing things down. Well, there's always, depending on, what you want, and when it comes to tax structure, of course, here would be the best because you get zero taxes, right? And that's the easiest way to deal with crypto, with zero taxes. However, it's difficult to do any kind of business or run any kind of business out of Dubai that is involved with the cryptocurrencies. So if you're talking about if running a particular business, of course, there'd be different countries for that. I personally use Belize, right, as my country to run my business, one of my businesses off of, right, for crypto. And also in Chile, I also have a business there. Now, I don't know where exactly would be the best place for you to run a crypto business, right? That would all depend on what kind of business you actually want to run. The main rule that traders need to learn so not to lose everything is not to bet everything on one big bet. That's the key thing that people tend to do, right? When we provide a trading signal, they go, okay, I'm gonna go 100x and everything I've got on this one trade up. And you're like, what the heck? And if it comes back down 1%, they lose everything. And so don't do that, right? What you're supposed to do is only maximum 5% of your total portfolio inside the exchange, whatever you deposited in the exchange is 5% of that is what you should bet at any one time. That's the maximum, so that you don't get wrecked. Because that's number one way that people get wrecked, is that they feel invincible. They think that every trade's going to work, so I'm going to bet it all, right, with high leverage, and that wrecks people the most. The future for stablecoins is looking bright now, because the Federal Reserve has realized that, hey, you know what, if we try to build a CBDC, too many people will want their fingers in the pie, and they won't be able to make it something that they want. Right now, the USDT is exactly what they want. They could expand the supply of the USDT. They could freeze people's accounts. They could tell you where to buy, where not to buy. So, and then if you lose your USDT, they can give it back to you. It's perfect for them. So I don't see the central bank, or at least the Central Bank of the United States, trying to build a CBDC. It doesn't make any sense since they have so many out there in the market. However, what they also want them to do is start buying the debt. I don't think they've agreed to that, and that's the problem. Probably why the central banks are now saying, "Oh, you're not agreeing to that? Okay, watch what happens now. We're going to regulate you guys, and we're going to change the laws and make it impossible for you to run. You don't want to listen to us? Well, you're going to listen to us now." So that's what they're trying to do. They're probably trying to squeeze them a little bit. Before Bitcoin, I was a software developer. I worked at a company called Loris Technologies. I wrote their software. I was the developer for quite some time there. And I helped build that company to what it is today. I left that company around 2013, but before I did, I started learning about our financial system back in 2008 after a Republican said, his name was Ron Paul. He said that our monetary system is unfair. It transfers wealth from the poor and the middle class to the rich. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, he's obviously lying. Why would the government do that? Why would they have a monetary system that would take money from everybody? And they said yes and moved on. And I realized, what? This is true? I better find out how money works. So once I saw that, I had to learn how money works, and I was quite surprised. I was like falling through the rabbit hole to learn the truth that we are all slaves to a bank, no matter what. If you go to a bank and borrow money, you've become a slave because they just printed it and gave it to you. They got a free slave. And if you don't want to be a slave, that's okay. Your government will borrow from me from the bank, and then they will charge you taxes to pay the interest on the debt. And that's our system. So everybody's a slave to a banker. It was quite shocking revelation. And how our monetary system is geared to eventually collapse, because there's always more debt than there is money. So eventually there's only two end results for our monetary system. Complete implosion, where all the money disappears, or explosion, where there's too much money into the system. There's only two ends for this financial system. And they get to choose, of course. And they're always going to choose the monetary explosion by expanding the monetary supply to cover all the debts. So the safest way to avoid all that, what I learned was through gold and silver, and that's what I started doing YouTube videos about that, and that's how I got into Bitcoin, because somebody else mentioned Bitcoin on my YouTube channel. No, I don't have a favorite NFT just as yet, because I'm not really heavily into the NFT space, but I am getting into it. I am building my own NFT line, and also I've recently did an NFT. I signed an NFT, and I've published it. It's an NFT can, where all the money that we raise from the auction goes to charity. My next goal, right, is my ambitious goal is to really prevent what has happened to humanity to this point ever happening again. Because we are before Bitcoin, I saw that humanity was going to go into serious despotism. Only the super rich would survive. Everybody would be completely poor, wouldn't own anything. And everybody would be slaves to the top 10%, is what I saw coming through before Bitcoin came to life. And now that Bitcoin's here, it's complete opposite. Now the world is going to go through a renaissance, and I'm looking forward to that. And in this renaissance, I want to make sure that this never comes back. This monetary system from hell never ever comes back, because it destroys wealth. It destroys the society, right, as a whole, every single time throughout history. And it must never, ever come back. The most undervalued asset for 2021 is, believe it or not, Shiba Inu. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but it's not going anywhere. So you could hate it all you want. It's going to go up, and it's going to do well. Another one is obviously Dogecoin. I know, it doesn't make any sense, but trust me, the kids are good supporting this. There was what's it called, parades for Dogecoin back when it was like under a penny. And this is when it had no developer support, nothing. And yet today, look at it, it's now at 25 cents. And that's still undervalued for Dogecoin. Expect it to do very well, and in the coming months, because it's so cheap, people could buy a lot of it for so cheap. They will be buying it up, even though it has no fundamental value. It's just a meme coin. These meme coins will do extremely well in the next run up with Bitcoin. So do not underestimate them. The projects that will become a trend is the NFT gaming industry. That will be the biggest trend we'll ever see, the next biggest trend that we'll ever see, because it's so huge, because now people can play video games and earn money. It's just at the beginning, and that is where, the greatest hockey player, because I'm Canadian, is Wayne Gretzky, and he always said the reason why I was the best hockey player is because I don't skate to where the puck is right now. I skate to where the puck is going to be, and that's how I manage my business. I know where the trend's going to be, and I jump on that. This is where you have to jump on if you want to get ahead of the curve. Is to jump into the gaming industry, and that's where there's going to be tons of money to be earned. Right there is that play to earn right there, and owning NFT artifacts in the game is going to be incredible.